I want you to indoctrinate yourself with the set of beliefs and ideas that you want to make true. I want you to read books. I want you to listen to podcasts. I want you to surround yourself around people who have the same goal and same unwavering motivation that you want to have in the future. I want you to surround yourself with the belief and set of ideas that everybody has that you want to follow, because this is so important. This is going to shape your entire life. This is going to shape your future and the way you see things, especially if you're young. And I know I'm young, but I know all I am doing has been learning to learn from the people I want to be as a future in the future. I don't listen to ideas or advice from somebody I see who isn't the person I want to be in 30 years, 20 years, 15 years. I don't listen to their ideas because I don't want to end up in the exact same way that they did. And I want you to make your objective and your goal and belief completely surrounded like around your entirety of your life, and make that thing the only thing you can think about. Like I have an urge, an unwavering desire, I have an obsession in becoming successful, and it is all I can think about on a daily basis because I like to read about becoming successful. I love the idea of thinking in a mindset that they might think in. I want to take that information, stick it into my brain, and become that person that they want, that they describe, and that they try to teach me to become. I listen to podcasts. I listen to the way specific people speak so I can become and learn how to speak exactly like them. I want to teach myself the exact same ways that they might have taught themselves, or I want to teach myself to be like them. And this is so essential because once you have not even a mentor, but a set of people that you can drive yourself to be like, it's going to become so much easier for you to grow. Because there are countless of individuals in this world that have the same driving motivations as you. If you want to change the world, look at people like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, the guy who created NVIDIA. These are all people who are changing the world at this moment or have changed the world in the past. And you see how all of them have this equality that they all have unwavering desire, and they had an obsession to do something that's all they could put their mind to do. Bill Gates spent 14 hours in his room on a daily basis and slept for a day at a time. Like he worked for 14 hours straight, then he slept for 14 hours after, because he had to regain all his energy for having spent the entire day in his room cooped up writing code for Macintosh. And you guys need to have the exact same desire as the person you want to teach yourself to be. So what I do is I try to have the exact same obsession and desire for gaining success as Bill Gates, as Steve Jobs. And maybe this isn't the what life you want to live. Maybe it's something completely different. But what you notice about anybody who has accomplished anything great is they have a devotion of time for what they want to do, and they make sure it gets done every single day. Every single day. And if you implement their ideologies, their habits, and their mindset, you will become exactly like them, but for a specific trait or brain fart, a specific trait or or skill. Oh my gosh, I don't know why that took me so long. That was like 30 seconds. A specific trait or skill that you want to improve on into that level of expertise that the world is just awed by how much you can speak about that thing and how much you can create value in that specific thing, or you creating value. You're going to be looked up at in an astounding level. And maybe you don't want fame, maybe you don't want to be rich, but still, if you don't want that, look at somebody who doesn't have fame or riches, and then you can be exactly like them. Even though I doubt nobody wants to be rich, but actually no, riches come in various ways and forms. So if you want to live a fulfilling life, follow the teachings of somebody who lives a fulfilling life, like a stoic or a transcendentalist. They find the most meaning in life, and they notice how little you need to be happy. And that is a great way of thinking, because if you don't have value in something, or if you don't want something, that is meaningless. So if you don't want a yacht, it may be worth $15 million to other people, or $100 million to other people, but it's worth $0 million to you. It's worth $0 to you, I mean, because you don't want that. That has no value to you. So there's no reason for you to chase that amount of wealth, because that's not the way that you want to live life. But what I want to say, and what I want to emphasize, is indoctrinate yourself with the beliefs and thoughts of people you want to be like, because that is what you need to do to grow as a person. You have to take in different perspectives. You have to take in the perspectives of people you want to be like. And obviously you're not going to listen to the guy who works at a gas station telling you how you should live your life, or the guy who works like 15 hours a day on a computer how to live your life, because that's not the life you want to live. Unless it is, then follow their advice. But if it's not the way you want to live, don't listen to them, because then they're giving you advice to how they ended up in their position. Or if they tell you how not to end up in their position, listen to that, because that's exactly what you have to avoid doing. You have to avoid doing what they did that made them end up in that position. And I know I'm rambling on about this, but I do believe in your environment and the people you're around and all the information you take in. It affects the way your mind thinks. It affects the way you see things. It changes your perspective. It makes you think more, makes you think more creatively, makes you think in a more open-minded way, because then you start to see what can benefit you and what doesn't benefit you. So you could toss that aside and grab what benefits you and turn that into ideas, turn that into motivation, turn that into discipline. Follow the people you want to be like, and let that information, or let the information that you want to follow, indoctrinate your mind to believe in that specific skill set or that specific way of life, and make that a constant thing that you do every single day. Because as consistently begins to form, you're going to see yourself become more like them on a daily basis. And only reason I'm saying this is because I've read so many books, or not even so many, but I've seen so many, or I've seen countless people talk about you are who you surround yourself with. And though I may not believe that wholeheartedly, I do believe that is a big step, or a big reason on how people end up how they end up. That's why people who, a large majority, obviously not everybody, who live in a bad neighborhood end up becoming, or live a bad life in a way. Because if you live in a bad neighborhood and you're surrounded by gangs and hoodlums and all that stuff, you then become to take in those traits and characteristics that they follow. You learn how to speak like them. You don't speak articulately, and then you just speak however they speak, and you then start to follow their ideologies, and so whatever. And I actually read about this. I forgot the exact same book. I mean, the exact book, but it was talking about how if you see if a criminal gets if a criminal lives in an area, I mean, if a person lives in an area with a lot of criminal activity, you then begin to see that as the normal. You see that as the normal, and then you become a criminal yourself because you get pulled into it because you're like, there's nothing wrong with it. You've seen it so many times that you're totally fine with doing it. That's why so many people in my area steal from Wawa because they're like, oh my gosh, they're not even gonna catch me because everybody else does it. So let me steal from Wawa too. And that's like who you surround yourself with is a big portion of how you end up in the future. And though I don't want to say that that is completely true because there's obviously anomalies in this, there's people who want to change their lives and don't care who's around them. But I do believe that if you surround yourself around people you want to be like, you're going to end up like them. I remember the book. It was Letters from a Stoic. It was Letters from a Stoic. He was talking about, Seneca was speaking about how if you surround yourself around criminals, the criminal is now going to believe, like I said. But yeah, if you, I don't mean to speak ill of anybody, or I don't mean to attack because what I said about hoodlums and that, it may be controversial because some people might take it the wrong way, but I do believe that who you surround yourself with is a big outcome to how you become in the future. And this is a pretty sad thing, but my dad, he used to be an alcoholic, and he surrounded himself by alcoholics. So, and drug people who do drugs, and he then fell into that deep pit of drugs and alcohol, which led him to his fate, his sad fate. And that really truly shows how my perspective on like this, like I believe in it so wholeheartedly due to that fact. And I really just want to emphasize that if you want to be like somebody, or if you want to think a certain way, you have to indoctrinate yourself with different types of readings, different type of audios, different types of perspectives, different types of people for you to think the exact same way that they do. And this is going to transform your life and turn you into the person you want to be, and turn you into somebody who you want to see yourself in the future. And that's all I wanted to say. Don't allow yourself to be victim to your surroundings, and you should create your surroundings to how you want to live your life in the future.